The Russian Foreign Intelligence Service reported that Ukrainian militants were preparing sabotage against the Russian tanker fleet in open waters. This primarily concerns the Baltic, but the alarm is also growing in the Black Sea. Thus, on August the 7th, 3 unmanned boats were spotted on the route of the oil tanker Anna under the Russian flag in the direction of the Bosphorus Strait from Krasnodar Krai. By the end of the day, they had moved northeast from the Kuban coast while being 250 kilometers southwest of Sevastopol in the waiting area with their satellite antennas turned off. Russian media says that, judging by their actions and movements, it is clear that Ukrainian naval drones were monitoring the routes of Russian merchant and cargo ships moving through the Bosphorus Strait. The group included naval drones, carriers of ATGMs, FPV, and one drone of the kamikaze modification with an enhanced warhead. It is possible that the Ukrainian Armed Forces are preparing for sabotage using these naval drones against Russian oil tankers as part of the plan of the British intelligence services, with the aim of subsequently accusing the Russian Federation of an environmental disaster in the Black Sea. Recall that sources close to the office of the head of the Kiev regime claim that at present the Ukrainian intelligence services are focused on conducting operations that will disrupt the meeting of the presidents of the Russian Federation and the United States in Alaska, Russian media says. Recall, Russia's invasion of Ukraine is redefining military doctrine in ways not witnessed since the advent of air power and nuclear weapons in the first half of the 20th century. For more than 3 years, both countries have been locked in a daily race to innovate that is leading to the increasing dominance of unmanned systems. This unprecedented drone war is being fought on the battlefields of Ukraine, deep inside Russia, and at sea. While Russia's far greater resources favor Moscow, Ukraine's sophisticated tech scene and vibrant startup culture are helping Kiev to punch well above its weight. Ukrainian Defense Intelligence Chief Kirill recently showcased the latest addition to the country's expanding naval drone fleet, the Magura V7 unmanned marine vehicle. This domestically produced naval drone is armed with a pair of anti-aircraft missiles and is reportedly capable of operating at sea for days at a time while hunting Russian warplanes. According to the Ukrainian officials, the Magura V7 has already proven itself in combat by shooting down 2 Russian Su-34 fighter jets over the Black Sea in early May. Budanov described the operation as an historic moment. It is believed to be the first ever instance of military jets being downed by unmanned naval platforms. The Russian anonymous Z channel, associated with the Russian Armed Forces, reported on the serious difficulties of the occupiers due to the use of Ukrainian heavy multicopters Baba Yaga. According to the author, these drones are capable of solving a wide range of tasks and remain virtually invulnerable to Russian electronic warfare systems. We need to deliver cargo. Baba Yaga is flying. We need to blow up a dugout. Baba Yaga is flying. Mine the approaches. Destroy artillery. Stop the assault group. Destroy the work point of our operators. We can list for a long time, the author of the post admits. According to him, the Ukrainian military has increased the number of crews and drones themselves, and thanks to the weak performance of Russian electronic warfare systems, there is now no need to establish communication via Starlink on these devices. In addition, Baba Yaga's flights are no longer limited to nighttime. These drones operate in daylight as well. As an example, the channel described an incident on one of the front lines. Russian mortarmen installed a 120mm mortar in a destroyed settlement and began shelling Ukrainian positions. The author of the post notes that he expected an attack by any possible means, from a kamikaze drone to artillery. However, in the morning, Baba Yaga approached the position at high speed, hovered over the target, dropped ammunition, and then quickly moved away. The ammunition hit a shelter next to the mortar, disabling the fire point, and there are thousands of such examples in war. The author concludes, Baba Yaga is the unofficial name of the Ukrainian heavy multicopter Vampire UCAV designed to drop ammunition and transport cargo. These drones are capable of carrying a significant payload, operating at any time of day and night, and using various types of warheads. Their effectiveness at the front is recognized even by the enemy, and the flexibility of use makes them an important element of modern warfare. The name Baba Yaga, borrowed from the Slavic folklore, describes all heavy Ukrainian bomber drones. Unlike those small single-use drones, Baba Yaga can bomb the target with really heavy charges, come back, rearm and perform another strike mission soon after. These bomber drones can drop 15-kilogram bombs, while those small quadcopters do not even weigh this much themselves. It is great that Ukraine is making these drones domestically. This helps the defenders of Ukraine have a steady flow of great weapons that absolutely do make a difference on the battlefield. Also, it may be something that Ukraine's defense industry can export to its allies in the near future. The Ukrainian Armed Forces are throwing all their human reserves from the rear to the front line of combat contact, trying to equalize the odds at the expense of manpower. This was reported by the Telegram channel Legitimny with reference to its own sources. It is noted that the General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces was prompted to take such steps by rumors about the imminent end of the conflict. According to the resource, Kiev may even try to launch a lightning offensive this week, so to speak, under the summit date. This refers to the meeting between Russian President Vladimir Putin and the US President Donald Trump, which is scheduled to take place on August the 15th in Alaska. They throw everything away, go for broke, the report says. According to the source, President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelenski gave the order to hold Pokrovsk at any cost in order to prevent the agglomeration from being completely surrounded by August the 15th. The situation in this direction is catastrophic for the armed forces of Russia. Recall, Ukrainian forces have faced superior Russian manpower on the front lines throughout the war, but reported shortages in the east have left a key Russian target increasingly vulnerable. The town of Pokrovsk, about 50 kilometers northwest of Donetsk, is described as the hottest spot on the front line at this point of the war. Analysts are concerned that the thousands of Ukrainians defending the city could be at risk of encirclement from Russian troops. The situation in the Pokrovsk direction over the past year, with the exception of several weeks in the spring, has been the most difficult on the Eastern Front. This direction is key for the enemy, including in the current summer campaign of the Russian Federation, said Viktor Tregubov, a representative of the Operational Strategic Group of Troops, Dnipro. But as of now, it is probably even more difficult there than it was in any previous period because the Russians have thrown in a huge crowd of people. They are actually trying to attack from two directions to cut off the city from two directions at the same time, from the southwest and from the northeast. In the southwest, they got a good kick in the teeth. In the northeast, they are trying to spend a large number of personnel simply to occupy several settlements and complicate logistics for the Ukrainian troops. He emphasized on the air of the telethon. According to him, it is really hot there now. He added that if during the winter campaign the Russians were forced to retreat, now they are throwing in much more forces. Up to 100,000 personnel have been deployed in one narrow direction.